Hello, and welcome to this masterclass. And welcome to this masterclass. Apologies, I'm a few minutes late jumping on. Facebook has completely changed the back end of doing live videos, and I haven't done one in a wee while, so I'm just navigating that. But hello and welcome to this free masterclass. How do I believe in myself? How do I build self-belief? If you are here joining me live, come on, come say hi, leave me a little message in the comments to let me know that you can hear me, see me okay, and that it's all working. And I would love for you to tell me, yeah, say hi. Where are you? Where are you from? Where are you tuning in from? I know we have so many wonderful new faces in this group, so that's really exciting. I'd love to know where you're coming in from. Amazing. I'm just going to wait a few more moments to see if anyone else is going to jump on live with me. I can see there's definitely some people live. So if you are live with me, I would love it if you could just say hi in the comments. Let me know that you can hear me and see me okay. Let me know where you're tuning in from. Alrighty. I think we should just dive in, eh? Happy Friday, guys. Friday in New Zealand, anyway. Thursday probably still for those on the other side of the world. Amazing, Grace. Hey, beautiful. And Taylor. So good. Okay, you can obviously hear me and see me okay. We're all working. That's good to know. And a big hello and warm welcome to everyone on the replay as well. Well done for coming back to listen to this as well. I always really admire people who come back to watch the replays because that takes effort. And so well done. But also, of course, effort to show up live as well. So I'm really glad. We've got so many wonderful people here. Amazing. Andrea, currently watching from quarantine. I'm so pleased to hear you're back. I did actually see that on Instagram. We should chat. Amazing. So good. I'm so pleased that so many of you could come join me live. This was a little bit last minute, but yeah. Alrighty, let's dive in. So today I want to talk about this massive topic about self-belief. How do I believe in myself? How do I build self-belief? This is something that's so dear to my heart. It's absolutely one of those things that I would have said when I was younger, definitely in my teenage years, maybe in my early 20s, around like, I just didn't really believe in myself so much. And I was always after that thing that was going to teach me how to believe in myself because I thought, if only I could believe in myself, then I would go after what I wanted, or then XYZ would happen. And if someone had have told me this when I was there, I'd be like, yep, sign me up. I'm there. I want to work on this. Like, that's how big a thing it was for me. And so, self-belief, confidence, self-worth is so much tied into my one-to-one work with clients, everything that I do as a coach, because it can be life-changing. It definitely was for me. And so now this is what I love supporting people with on their own personal journeys now as a coach. So this also links to my latest podcast episode that I released yesterday. So if you've had a little listen to that already, well done. You're so onto it. And yeah, it's going to be very similar in terms of its content. But I wanted to come on and do this live masterclass because it's so wonderful to be able to talk it through in real life, but also for you to be able to ask me questions, for you to come on and yeah, really get your questions answered, because podcasting is wonderful and I love it. It's my jam, but it is definitely more of a one-way street. And so I love live videos and doing masterclasses where I can see you. Well, actually, I can't see you. You can see me and you can ask me questions. So if at any point throughout this masterclass you have questions, definitely pop them in the comments and I will definitely circle back and answer them towards the end. Nothing's off limits. Any questions about self-belief and sort of confidence and self-trust as well, as you'll see they're so often tied and linked together. So why talk about this now? Because I was asked this recently by a client and it was like, how do I do it? Like, what's the how-to steps? What are the strategies? And also, it's a theme that's come up in a few discovery calls that I've had with clients or potential clients recently who are considering working with me and working with a coach. Is like this longing for self-belief in themselves. Like, if only I could believe in myself, if only I felt more believing, more confident in who I am. And so I thought it was really timely, and I wanted to share my wisdom on this. Already, I've got some points here that I've written down so I stay on track. First and foremost, the number one strategy and the most important thing I think you need to know about self-belief is that we've got to learn to dial down our inner critic. I talk about inner critic a lot. We all have one. It's that negative voice in your mind that says you're not good enough, pretty enough, smart enough, whatever enough. Who do you think you are? It's constantly searching out for the fear, the negativities, the buts, the what ifs. And essentially it holds us in a world of self-doubt. And so how can we believe in ourselves when we're listening to that inner critic constantly? And so if there was one thing to go away in action and work on, it would be to dial down your inner critic. This particular podcast is not surrounded around the inner critic. I have done lots of podcast episodes on this, and I'm thinking about doing a masterclass soon, actually separate to this, on just the inner critic. And I have actually done one last year, so if you're around for a little while, you may have watched that one as well. But go back, find that stuff if you want to, or let me know if you are really keen as well, and I can definitely make sure that we do another live masterclass on dialing down your inner critic. So valuable. So do some work on that one, number one. Number two strategy is look for the evidence that it's safe to believe in yourself and trust in yourself. And what I mean by that is essentially what happens is in our minds, we create belief systems on what we believe to be true about ourselves and about our worlds around us. And so often those belief systems are created when we're really young. Most of the time we create them in the first 7 years of our lives, based off information, experiences, feelings, things that happen in our world. Whether they're right or wrong, it doesn't actually doesn't matter. It's just that we've formed this belief system around something, and our beliefs then drive our actions. So if we think about it, it's our thoughts, our beliefs, our actions, and then that creates our reality. And so if we want to change our reality, if we want to change a belief system, we then have to look for evidence that it's true to back up that new belief system. So what I want you to do is write out a list of all of the times where you have believed or trusted in yourself. You've done something really scary out of your comfort zone, something new, something different that you've had to have some belief or trust around. And it's worked out for you, that you did it, that you were okay, that you survived, that it was amazing. So what are those things for you? Write down a whole list of them. And you might hear me say the word self-trust a lot in here. And I actually believe that self-belief is a form of self-trust. So when we say, I want to believe in myself more, what we're really saying is, I want to trust in myself more. I want to deeply trust myself. Because how can we believe in ourselves if we don't trust ourselves, right? How can we believe ourselves if we don't trust ourselves? So often, the root of a lot of my work is building self-trust and creating more self-trust within you. But layers of that is belief, confidence, worthiness, etc. Hope that makes sense. So write down a whole list of what are the things, the times that you have done something out of your comfort zone, where you've took a leap of faith, where you've trusted in yourself, where you've believed in yourself, and you've been okay. You've survived. And I bet you there will be so many times in your life that you've done this already. So write them down, look for the evidence, like see the evidence for yourself, and come back to this time and time and time again to reinforce that new belief system that it's safe to trust in myself, that I'm okay to trust in myself. It's okay to believe in myself. I can believe in myself. I do believe in myself. So, another way to help reinforce those new belief systems is through mantras and affirmations. I'm a huge fan of this. To be honest, when I first came into the personal development world, I didn't like affirmations. I was like, oh, they're these like fluffy, flowery things that we just have to like fake it till you make it kind of thing. And I was like, not really for me. Mantras, on the other hand, I really liked. But anyway, either or. Affirmations, mantras, they're very similar. But I want you to create some, and this is the key with them, create ones that feel aligned and authentic to you. You need to really connect with the words in them. They have to feel aligned to you. If I just tell you the mantra or the affirmation to say, it might not feel congruent with you and it just doesn't feel good, and therefore that's not the one for you. So I would encourage you to try and come up with the words that really resonate with you. So write them down. And just coming back to that point around fake it till you make it, because so many people used to tell me this. I remember this in high school so much. They're like, oh, just fake it till you make it, just act like you're confident and then you will kind of thing. And I was like, well, I didn't really believe in that. I was like, how can I just fake it? Like, what? That's not true. But then actually, I believe that, like, I want to call a little bit of BS on that one, because I believe that if our true self, our intuition, our higher self actually does believe in ourselves and actually does trust in ourselves, it's more our minds and our learnt behaviors or our identity, which I'll talk about next, that pulls us out of those things, that says, actually, you don't believe in yourself, or you aren't a confident person, or whatever it might be. So actually, I believe that you already are these things. You already believe these things about yourself. It's just that we need to reassure yourself that it's okay to do it, back it up with that evidence, reprogram the subconscious mind that it's okay that you do this. This is a part of who you are. They may feel really stretchy to start with. Most of the time they do. But as long as they feel mostly true and mostly aligned and resonate with you, then go with it. Remember, that's the whole reason why we're here doing this work. We're reprogramming. And so we've got to have to use the repetition of those affirmations or mantras to reinforce it, to come back to it from time and time again. So find the evidence to create the new belief system, and then back it up, back up that reprogramming by using mantras and affirmations and things like that in your world to support yourself through this process. The third thing I want to talk about is your identity. And so often our identities can pull us back or hold us back or prevent us from feeling the way that we want to feel, or creating these skills and habits within ourselves. Because I believe confidence and self-belief and self-trust, all of those wonderful things are things to be built and developed within. Yes, I think we all innately have them within ourselves, but we definitely have to do the work to either unravel the belief systems that we're not those things or that we don't have those skills, and then to reinforce them and rebuild them essentially. So our identities can so often be the things that hold us back. And what I mean by this, a lot of this was coming to me. I'm recently reading a book, or rather listening to an audiobook of Atomic Habits by James Clear. It's a really interesting read. I'm really enjoying it. But one of his key points was around the concept of identity. And I can't remember the exact words, but he basically looked at the Latin origin of the word identity, and it basically meant repeated being. So whatever we're doing the most of, whatever we're repeatedly doing or showing up as, then helps us form our identity. So for example, so often we link our job titles to our identity. And that's, for example, for me, it's like, I'm a coach. I coach people every day. This is what I do. I do this all the time. And therefore it's a part of my identity because I'm doing it and I'm being it often. And so the same thing happens, with you in your world, whatever your job is. It's the repeated thing that you're doing often. But we can also liken this with other things, other concepts like self-belief, confidence, for example. And I use the word confidence in this analogy because I think it's sorry, I use confidence as an analogy of this because I think that's a really easy one to relate to and to understand. But, confidence and self-belief, I think, go hand in hand. Yes, they're different, but they definitely interrelate and connect. Um, so often people will tell me, oh, I'm just not a confident person. Like, that's just not who I am. I wasn't born that way. I'm just not confident. And so you can say the same thing about self-belief. I just don't believe in myself. Like, it's just something that I've never really done. I just don't really believe in myself. It's not who I am. And so what happens with that is that, especially around the word confidence, people often have like a stereotype or an idea of what it means to be a confident person. And so often, in particular, the confidence stereotype, often that's reinforced by society and media and things like that, to be a confident person, I have to be extroverted, loud, I have to be assertive, I'm the life of the party, or I'm often a leader, or things like that. So we associate these characteristics with being a confident person, and we say, well, I'm not extroverted, or I'm not the life of the party, or I don't really lend well to leadership type roles. I'm more of this type of person. And therefore, it's almost like we separate ourselves from it. It's like, well, to be a confident person, I have to be this thing over here, but I'm me here. And so there's this big disconnect. Like, how can I be confident? Because I then have to change who I am in order to become confident, or in order to believe in myself, for example, because it's not a part of our identity. I hope you're following me here and it's all making sense. So again, it comes back to, well, we can change our identity. We can change the belief by doing more of the thing that we're wanting. Does that make sense? So, when I was saying we've got to find the evidence earlier, like in point number 2, we have to find the new evidence that it's safe to believe in myself, that it's safe to trust in myself, that I'll be okay. The same thing is that we want to do that, but as well as that, we want to create new evidence that I am a confident person, that I am a person who deeply believes in myself, that I have a really strong self-belief muscle. So how we do that is we can use these big, expansive questions like, if I truly believed in myself, what action would I take? If I truly believed in myself, what would I be doing? How would I be dressing? How would I be talking? What actions would I be taking? What decisions would I be making? All of these wonderful things. And so that's my point number 4 is try and get into the energy and ask yourself these questions of, if I truly believed in myself, what would I do? And this is how we can slowly bring that thing, self-belief or confidence or self-trust, up into my identity, into who I am, because I'm doing it, I'm being it most often, right? Remember, identity is repeated being. So if I'm constantly or often showing up as a confident person or taking actions that reinforce my self-belief in myself, then slowly our identity shifts. And instead of it being something out there, something that's just not a part of who I am, it's not in my identity, we slowly bring it into who we are and we start living from that place more and more. And if you can get to this point, this is where it really starts to shift, because you've almost got like a compass or a question to come back to time and time again to ask yourself, how do I do this thing? How do I be that person, that version of myself that I'm longing for? How can I show up as this, as this confident, self-believing person, this self-trusting person? If you've ever worked with me before, I often get people to do a future you exercise, and this is quite similar. It's like, if I was that thing, that person, if I embodied these traits and characteristics, if I lived from that place of self-belief, of deep self-trust in myself, of worthiness, what would I do? How would my life be different? And how would I be showing up? And then once you've got that list, and you can come back to that question time and time again and ask yourself again and again, then you've got that list of what you would do. And so then it's your job to start actioning those things, to start with the lowest hanging fruit, start with something that feels a little bit stretchy out of your comfort zone, but something that you feel like you can do. And then you build on that, right? Self-belief and confidence is definitely something that you can build on as you step out of your comfort zone, as you do something in a different way or coming from a different energy. You build on it. That then gives you more evidence that it's safe to believe in myself. It's safe to trust in myself. This thing is coming into my identity. I'm more of a confident, believing person in myself. Hope that makes sense. I'm just going to pause for some water. So, one more journal prompt on that same question, that same point I forgot to add in was, if I knew I couldn't fail, if I was deeply supported, what would I do? I love that expansive question. It's a really beautiful journal prompt to come back to whenever you want to. It really helps you get into that expansive energy. And that brings me to step number 5, or point number 5 rather, and that is to get into the energy of expansion, get into the energy of self-belief, get into the energy of confidence, get into the energy that you're limitless, that there's endless possibilities, that the only thing that's holding you back is really your mind, which is so true, right? Our minds and our belief systems. But get into the energy of it. So what are the things that support you to get into those energy? You can do this like really practical things. Like, is it exercise for you? Maybe it's meditation that helps you drop out of your mind and into your body more and into your intuition. Is it those affirmations and mantras? Is it journaling and like thinking of the vision, the future you? If I was really believing of myself, what would I do? What would I say? How would I act? What action steps would I take? So any of those tools that help you get into that energy and then live from that place, take action from that place. Alrighty, the other point that I wanted to make here that I haven't actually touched on, but links back to point number 1 around the inner critic, and that is to tap into your intuition. I talk about this a lot. So much of my work is embedded in this work, in this topic rather, and that is to come back to your intuition time and time again. It's the opposite of your inner critic. It's your loving, intuitive guidance, your inner wisdom, your inner knowing, your gut reaction, your instincts, whatever words you want to call it here. Come back to that from time and time again, because any times you have wobbles, moments of self-doubt, when you're getting in your head or your inner critic's gone a bit wild and is telling you all of the fears and the possibilities that might go wrong, come back to your intuition. It always knows. It's got all of the answers for you. And remember what I said earlier. I truly believe that your higher self, your intuition, your true self always innately, deeply believes in yourself. It knows how worthy you are, insanely worthy. And it knows how trusting you are of yourself. It trusts you. It deeply trusts in you. And so coming back to that, and there's so many things that you can do to support yourself to get into that, to drop into your intuition, meditation, exercise, etc. Again, another podcast or another masterclass on the inner critic versus the intuition as well. But definitely, I think we can't talk about building self-belief if we don't talk about really anchoring into your intuition and using its inner guidance and inner wisdom. And then lastly, I want you to know that I believe in you. I believe in you. I believe in you wholeheartedly. There's no shadow of a doubt in my mind. I truly, deeply believe in you. And so outside support is really wonderful with this, right? Having a coach, having a cheerleader, your supportive family or friends, whatever it might be, your business buddies, whatever it might be, those people are so, so helpful to sometimes see what you can't see within yourself. And when you see it reflected back in you, you start to then believe it more and more and more. So having that person is so, so wonderful. And obviously I'm a huge advocate of it. It's partly why I do what I do. But I also want to bring you back to the fact that that alone is not good enough. If you don't truly believe in yourself, then no amount of external validation or external belief or support from others is ever going to replace the self-belief and confidence, the self-trust that you create in yourself. No amount of external validation or external support is going to make up for this. It is absolutely something that you need to work on within yourself, and no one can do it for you. 100%, I'm here to support you with it. I will coach you through it. I will tell you how. You've already got some wonderful strategies to start to implement now, but you do have to do the inner work. These strategies work if you do the work. These strategies work if you do the work. So having those support people is wonderful, but also realizing that I've got to take responsibility for me. I am my own responsibility, and you owe it to yourself to start to unravel the belief systems that hold you back. Start to dial down the inner critic that holds you back, that keeps you in a world of self-doubt, and to really ramp up, own, embrace, and develop these key skills within yourself: self-belief, confidence, self-worth, deeply trusting in yourself. Alrighty, that brings me to the end of our little masterclass here. I hope that was so helpful and supportive. If this is like light bulb moments, like I want to do this work, I really want to own my self-belief, my self-worth, my confidence, and I want to develop these skills within myself, then please reach out. I am doing free discovery calls. They're 30-minute Zoom chats with me where we can talk a bit about coaching, how I can support you, what's going on in your world, and what specifically you want support with. Then definitely reach out after this. Either pop your name in the comments below or send me an email directly. You should all have my email by now if you're in this group. Then absolutely do that, and I will post a little link for you to book your discovery call online in the comments below as well. I am taking them for the next 2 weeks, so definitely reach out. There's limited spots available for my one-to-one coaching starting really soon. You can start, next month, essentially in July. So I hope that's so helpful. I would love to support you on this journey further, but go away and take these strategies, implement them, and really do the work on yourself. Before I close out, I just want to recap those key strategies and points that I mentioned today. How do I build self-belief and confidence? How do I really believe in myself? Number one, dial down your inner critic. Do the work to dial down that negative mindset, that negative voice that holds you in the world of self-doubt. That's probably the biggest tip I could give you today. Number two is look for the evidence that it's safe to believe in myself and it's safe to trust in myself. We need to create that new belief system, and therefore we need the evidence to back up that we can do this, that it's safe to do this, that we've done this before, that we can do it again. Use affirmations and mantras to help cement and reinforce that new belief system as well. Make sure they're your own though. Make sure you use words that resonate with you. Number three is our identities can so often hold us back from the things that we're wanting to feel and experience and create within ourselves. So the analogy of I'm just not a confident person because it's not who I am. I don't fit that stereotype of it. That's just BS. It's not that definition of confidence is not necessarily true. It's just what we're taught by society so often, and it's reinforced. But if it, you can bring that part, you can bring that into your identity essentially. And how we do that is by finding the evidence of it in the past, like the other point, but also then creating new evidence by you taking new action that you are a confident, self-believing person. Ask yourself these questions. If I truly believed in myself, if I deeply trusted in myself, what would I do? What action would I take? Use that as your compass. Come back to that time and time again, and then act from that place. And then, of course, get into the expansive energy of it. You are limitless. Your potential is endless. You can do this. Help yourself get into that energy. Exercise, meditation, music, whatever it might be. Having these big, expansive, inspiring questions. Finding expanders for yourself. And then second to last, tap into your intuition, your beautiful, guiding, reassuring inner wisdom, your inner knowing that always believes in you, that always trusts in you. And then lastly, find those people, find your support person to help you build these things up. And also know, though, that while that's wonderful, and I definitely recommend doing that, know that you are also taking ownership of this and taking responsibility for doing the inner work to create the self-belief within yourself, so that you no longer rely on the external validation, the external belief and confidence from other people. I hope that has been so helpful. There's no questions coming through that I can see, but if you do have any other questions, things you want to chat through with me, definitely pop them below in the comments box and I will answer them in a moment. I just wait for a few minutes to see if there's any questions coming through. Gosh, that was so fun. Amazing, amazing. I don't think there's any other questions coming through, not that I can see. So good. While we do that, I wonder if I just quickly find the link that we can use to book in a discovery call. That'd be so fun. Alrighty, bear with me for a second. Alrighty, I don't think there's any other questions coming through. So I will just find this link. Also, side note, I want to do some more masterclasses and lives in this group. I feel I've been a little bit MIA recently. I've been busy with my one-to-one clients. So I am so keen to come back in here and do some more live masterclasses. So if you do have any specific topics, things that you want me to cover, questions, definitely let me know. I would love to create those for you. Or if you want it in a podcast form, that's also totally cool too. Taylor, beautiful. Thank you, Evie, totally about that inner work. Yes, 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 I know you are. I hope you're continuing to do it too, Taylor. Well done. Here we are. There is the link to my little booking link where you can book in straight online, or you can always email me as well. Alrighty, my love, there was no other final questions. If you do have any questions and you're watching this on the replay, then definitely pop them in the comments below this live video. It will be live in here for a little bit longer. So come back and ask away if you want to, and I'll come back, I'll circle back and answer them for you. And of course, I look forward to seeing you more again soon. Thanks for listening right to the very end. And I look forward to booking in that discovery call to talk about coaching and how we can expand and create even more self-belief, confidence, self-worth, and you going after the things that you want to do, because that is what I'm here for. Alrighty, my loves, have a beautiful rest of your day. Thank you, thank you. It's so lovely to have you all here with me. And thanks to those on the replay as well. And we'll talk again really soon. Bye.